Hello everyone. Today we are out in the greenhouse, as you can tell. Really excited about this. On this property, we're only about 3 miles from where our new property here that we've been here for the last year and a half. We only moved about 2.5, maybe 3 miles as a crow flies. But we have a little bit of a colder climate. We're closer to the mountains, and it freezes a lot more here than it did at the other place. It freezes a lot harder at night, so that means it freezes later, hence the bigger greenhouse. Even though we're only about 2.5 miles from where we were at the other place, we're closer to the mountains, and we have a couple of big mountains. I mean, we're a couple miles closer, but the thermals come from the west. So we get all that cold air coming down, and it cools off here quite a bit more. We had frost, I can't remember the dates last year, but we had frost in June and then also in August last year. So as far as the garden, we're just going to play it by ear for the next year to see what we can grow. There's a really good possibility that fruit trees are not...
they might not do well.
There's a good chance that it might not be feasible to even attempt growing fruit trees here, because by the time they hit the blossoms, if a frost wipes them out, and then also in the fall, I built a bigger greenhouse than I've ever had before just because of that. The reality is, depending on what we can grow here, how late the frost is, we may be investing, we'll play it by ear for the next few years, see how things shake out. But the possibility that we may need to build a huge greenhouse and have the whole garden in there is very real.
Mm-hmm.
So we have behind us here, we have some carrots, we have 2 rows of radishes, the French breakfast, then we have some white radishes. I planted some kohlrabi. What else did I plant?
Carrots? Did you say carrots?
I have one kind of carrots, 2 different kinds of radishes. Oh, lettuce. Also planted lettuce.
Oh, yes.
And some kohlrabi. So
yes.
I have.
You planted
1, 2, 3,
kohlrabi.
4,
I didn't know
5.
you planted kohlrabi.
I have 8 short little rows that will get a little bit of a jump start. Then on this side we have a lot of the plants that we normally would buy. I went ahead and got a packet of strawberry seeds. I've never planted strawberries from seed before.
Yeah.
But we have tomato plants, a packet of gourds.
Oh,
That the boys wanted for decorative. We have cucumbers, peppers, a couple different kinds of jalapeno peppers, and then bell peppers. I can't remember everything. Cabbage, one whole tray of that is all cabbage. I don't know what to say. These things are just, well, we can maybe talk about it later. Even
Yeah.
We do our best to read the comments once a week. Summer's a busy time for us, so we'll do what we can. We can't promise it's always going to be right on cue.
Yeah. So one comment that I always love.
Give me half of them.
Debbie Gilbert, 1961. Your comment is short and sweet. What a sweet little boy. And I have to agree with you, Debbie. I have a sweet little boy. Yep. And he's growing up so fast. I think back when Jordan was small, and I miss those days.
Diane S4469. Hi, you have shared with pride the book Leaving the Amish, written by a relative on Mary's side. I'm interested if on the Mullet side you are related to Sam Mullet Sr. If so, would love to hear your view. Thanks. I have no idea if I'm related to that guy. I don't know who that is. The Mullet family is a pretty common name amongst some Amish communities. I don't know who that is.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure we're related if we go all the way back to Adam, which.
So Denise Solomon, 5618, you commented, can I have your recipe for the taco salad? Also, do you still sell Pampered Chef? Denise, I posted the taco salad recipe in the description, and you can go check that out. Also, about the Pampered Chef, I used to do Pampered Chef, and it was through a year that I was having some health issues, so I just put that on the shelf. But I'm definitely thinking about reopening my account and doing Pampered Chef again. So you might see me selling the Pampered Chef after a while.
Here we have Hearst Wanda. Your mom is an amazing artist. Do any of her children have her gift of painting? Have a good day. Yes, her children, and it's coming out in some of the grandchildren too. Morgan is actually pretty good at it. He's done some painting, but yeah, the artistic gift has come through. So very grateful for that.
Priscilla is also a pretty good artist. So
and her youngest sister Jolene is
a very
phenomenal.
good, yes, and my sister Esther. Verda Barge, 2246. Are those paintings acrylic or oils? Beautiful job. You know, Verda, I don't know. I think they are acrylic. I think she uses acrylics.
I think so. And then Judy Perry, does your mom sell her paintings? She does, yeah.
Mom does sell her paintings, but she sells them right here in the local farm to market store. Other than that, she doesn't sell them online. Not yet, anyway.
Well, that might be an avenue. maybe she should try that. Here we have a comment from SHEREENAALI 5165. Love your videos with your sister and family, but the kids making a lot of noise in the background was terrible. Hope your other videos will be better than the others. Yeah, well, that's kind of what we had. It was cold. I think it was rainy when they showed up, and that's just what family is.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry about the noise, but that was about our only option. And you know, doing video out in the dark and in the cold just wasn't an option. So the kids were playing in the background, and I know it was loud, but they were having fun.
Marla Johnson, that was lovely having you all together. You have beautiful families. Nice to hear the little ones having fun. Fun too. Thanks for sharing. You know, it was kind of a noise in the background for us, and I didn't realize that the camera was going to pick it up to that extent.
Yeah.
It was either that or try to do it some other time, and we had kind of planned on doing it that night, and so that's just that's the way the cookie crumbled, and that's life. I mean, we have kids, they're noisy.
Dawn J. A 2387. You commented, I enjoyed your video very much. Your pies look delicious. Thank you, Dawn. They were delicious, by the way, and
super good.
Yeah.
You know, your mom's paintings is something that, does she have a lot of them on hand that she's trying to sell?
Yeah, she does have quite a few. You could always check the farm to market store. I know they're on Facebook.
Are they on Facebook? Do they have all their stuff?
I don't know if they have all their stuff on Facebook.
Okay.
I don't think they sell online. Liz Bundick, 6334. Your family are so precious. Love watching. Thanks, Liz.
So we had one of the comments that were wanting a little. One of the people commenting wanted to know a few more details on the greenhouse, and I guess I didn't make that clear when I was building it. The length is 30 foot long, and the width is 12 foot wide. And each bow, if you see on the side here, they're approximately 12 foot. I made them like 11.5 feet because the plastic I got was going to be 24 foot. And I wanted to make sure I had enough to finish off and didn't want to be short. The doors on the end are 36 inches wide and 70, they're 3 foot wide, 6 foot tall. And on the sides here, if you guys watch really close during the time lapse, I have these stakes like every 6 feet or 5 or 6 feet, probably every 6 feet, that I pounded down until I couldn't pound anymore. and then cut them off, and that's the stability of it. And I put 2x8s on the side, because when you put these bows on, there's quite a bit of tension on them. And a 2x6 is, 5.5 inches, and this one is 2 more inches than that if I put a 2x8 here. So it just gives it a little more stability. On the end, the board on the end, I dropped down to a 2x6. The other thing that two of the previous greenhouses I had, I used thicker material, and I wish I would have, I used thicker pipes on 2 of the other greenhouses I had. But the day I went to pick this up, they didn't have enough of the thick ones, and I was like getting impatient. I want to get this built. With a greenhouse like this, with all the ones I've had, you have to be conscious. You don't just let the snow sit on them. The other ones that I built I took a 20-foot pipe, and they were just in a half circle. And so there's like a 4-foot section on top that the snow wouldn't slide. And that's why I put that 22-degree angle on top, where there's just enough pitch where most of it slides off. But it's like shoveling your driveway or your walkway. Every time it snows, you need to come out and clean the snow off. So the greenhouse is kind of a year-round project. When it starts snowing, I'm pretty diligent to always make sure that, the snow load is off on the top, that it's away from the sides. Well, I'm hoping to get quite a few years out of this plastic. If I would happen to let it go, it would probably collapse, as far as there's enough pressure on the snow that it could break the plastic.
Yeah, we get a lot of snow during the winter.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we have one of these whole trays right here. We have one tray that is all strawberry seeds. We have one tray that is all cabbage. Another tray is about 50% tomatoes and 50% bell peppers and jalapenos. And then we have another one that has like the squash, the gourds, different types of, I have butternut squash, string, spaghetti squash. I think I have butternut squash, spaghetti squash, cucumbers, just a lot of stuff. Whatever I thought that I could plant and get the plants, whatever seed I thought I could plant and grow it myself versus buying at the farmer's market, decided I'm going to try that. And it gets really, really warm in here during the daytime, really warm and humid. Even though last night it was down to 20 degrees this morning. Like everything here was just covered in frost this morning when I got up. So there we've got that, and we've got more that we can plant. And over here is where I was saying that we have carrots, 2 rows of radishes, and then lettuce, another row of icicle carrots, which is the icicle radishes, which is the white ones. And then I have 2 rows of kohlrabi. We love kohlrabi. And the kohlrabi does good in the cooler weather. Middle of the summer, they get really hard and kind of what they call wooden. So the earlier you can plant those, as far as radishes and kohlrabi and those crops, those root plants, the better they are. So this is the Wednesday night edition. We're going to try to do this, read comments once a week. Summertime is usually pretty busy. Sometimes I'm not here in time. But we're going to give it a shot and see what we can do. We always enjoy reading through the comments. And the only way you're going to get to hear your name is if you drop us a comment. You may just hear your name. Thanks for joining us. So I have a question for the audience out there concerning the greenhouse, a heater. It's kind of a hassle to get a wood stove in here. I'm thinking this fall when the tomatoes are in here and the frost hits, which I could do. I'm curious, does anybody have like a diesel heater that they put in their greenhouse that has a thermostat on it? And then when it gets down to, you can preset them to whatever. Let's say they get down to 33 degrees or 32, that diesel heater would kick in Some people call them a space heater, torpedo heater. They burn diesel and kerosene. Curious, has anybody used those just as a prevention and a method of keeping their fruit from freezing inside a greenhouse? I would be interested in knowing if people do that.